At Next Practice, as you've come to understand, we're about helping you scale your business and reduce the drama in your business. That's what we're about. Today's webinar and the sequence of webinars that will follow, we're talking about our Infinite Growth Program. And I'm really pleased to bring along and welcome Candice Swaceland, our Head of Customer Experience here at Next Practice. And she's going to walk us through what the actual Infinite Growth Program and what it has to offer you. So thank you.
The fourth element to the Infinite Growth model is execution and operations. So it's really where we get into the nuts and bolts, the day-to-day habits, the nitty-gritty, which this is where we come in a lot at Next Practice to take up a lot of the load that comes with that. But defining exactly how you're going to take that strategy, take that tactical plan, and use the right people that you now have to drive to your purpose, right?
Excellent.
On the daily, all right? And a lot of people will get that disconnect now, right? They might hire for value, they might have a strategy that goes to their purpose, but then when it comes to the day-to-day work, we kind of don't keep thinking about that purpose. We don't keep driving towards that strategy.
Yep.
And that's where you get kind of a bit of a dusty strategy, right?
Yep.
Where it kind of sits on the shelf and you look at it in another year, maybe reset it.
But you got to ask the question in that instance,
Yeah.
what are the people doing?
Yeah.
What are the people doing?
They are, and it's always with good intentions.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
It's always, I need to service the client because they want this, right? And forgetting the true purpose. You know, the client will want this email, or the client will want this document, or the client will want this, and it has great intentions, but it's not driving to a purpose.
Yeah.
It's not driving to the strategy,
Yeah.
right? So when we break down the rhythms, we need a consistent rhythm, right? We need a consistent practice for the company, just like you have a somewhat consistent morning routine to make sure that you're ready to get out the door. You've got to have a consistent rhythm across the business.
Yeah.
And that's through your meetings and maybe some general tasks, but meetings are so important.
Is that including habits?
It is including habits. It's including the team's habits and the individual habits.
Great. Yeah,
Right.
perfect. Yeah. So you said the connection there you made, which I heard you talk about, was rhythms and discipline. We are effectively talking about the same thing. Yeah, great. Because, great. Defining what they are. The rhythm, I like the word rhythm. Because it gives a sense of cadence.
Yeah, a
You know what I mean?
rhythm, a pulse.
Yeah, that's right. Something to track. Are we on track with our rhythm? Yeah, great.
So we have our rhythm, right? We've got a pace, we're moving together, we're moving as a team, the business is moving as a team. That's really where you start to feel the benefits of all the work and foundation that you've done. And then within those rhythms, you also need to define how you're going to do your tasks. This is probably people's least favorite to do.
It's not sexy, I know, but it's
not
necessary.
sexy. Unless you're like me and you love a good process flow.
But don't you think that gives me some freedom though?
Yeah.
If I have a set defined task list,
Exactly.
I'm not being surrounded by noise, I've got deliverables.
Yeah, which gets me to my point, which is it needs to be digestible processes. It needs to be, do not give anyone a 40-page procedure. They will never look at it.
Yeah.
They will never look at it unless, no, they won't look at it.
No.
So I say keep your process to a page, just like your one-page plan.
Yep.
Keep your processes to a page. If it takes more than a page, then it's probably 2 activities.
Yeah.
It gives you a good indication of task overload.
Yeah, great.
Right?
Great.
Yeah.
If burnout's a problem in modern society, I imagine this is a panacea or part panacea to this issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a really great opportunity to look at what exactly are you asking your people to do?
Yes. What is
right?
fair?
What's fair?
Yeah.
How much time does it take?
Yeah.
What can go astray?
Yeah.
So that you can be prepared for that in the future.
Awesome. Can I just say that as a business owner too gives me the view of utilisation and capacity, as you say, might spill over to another head count to cover in that role. So it gives me an indicator of the health of the team, the support of the team, bringing in another resource if required.
Yeah.
A tipping point, I think we've said before, there might be a tipping point.
Exactly.
Awesome, yeah.
Because that scope creep, it can get you.
Oh, yes, we know about that.
Stuff.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, everyone,
Yes.
you know, especially, and I find with the bigger the corporation,
Yeah.
the more that scope creep tends to happen.
Yeah,
right? Because
right.
there's just less people to manage it, or
That makes sense now. You're tying that back to the fact that, but if I'm asked to do more for the same amount of, say, remuneration or whatever it might be, or no recognition and stuff, I'm becoming a little bit disgruntled maybe with that role.
yeah, and then add the layer of that not serving purpose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Got it.
Then you've got a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
You've got a recipe for turnover, unhappy people, and if your people are not happy, then your client's not happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Got it.
Yeah. So defining your task and defining, so you can do things like but also videos. All right, videos are the new way. They're the new way of instructing people.
Yeah.
They're easier to make.
It certainly brings a piece of paper to life.
Yes.
Or a process to life. Yeah, great.
Yeah, and multiple levels of communication in that. So you might have the video and the process.
Yeah, great.
Right? It's so important to establish those processes because, like I said before, Johnny might do the job this way, and I might do the job this way. It doesn't mean that Johnny's wrong or I'm wrong, but we both have to get on the same page.
Great. So things like internal audit to test that is to say, do I need, and thinking about that as do I need to correct Johnny or Candice, or have they found a better way? Do we need to update the process?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Or is it a collaboration of both techniques, which often happens?
Something new?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
I recently had an example where some people were using one tool for risk in a project, and then some other people in the organisation at a different location were using a different tool, right? And then we brought those tools together, and it created a better tool for both of them.
Fantastic. Great outcome.
And then the final element to that is data-driven, objectively driven information.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds like a dashboard to me.
That's got
What
to
does
be
a dashboard look like? Right.
Yeah, we love a nice dashboard.
Yeah,
Right?
great. Just to tell
put
you,
them everywhere.
I like the idea of dashboard, and it's simple enough to say that, like any dashboard, and we use the example of a car, just all those indicators, the health of the car.
Yeah.
What do I need to tend to in the car to fix, top up, or support, pump up the tyres, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But that's the same principle, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it really ties back the people and the talent to the execution and operations, right? Like I said with the people, they need to know if they're doing a good job every single day. And also as a leadership position, you need to know if your success factors are correct for the team, right? So then you can pick up, all right, we're falling behind in this. Have we set the success factor incorrectly? You know, have we overshot it? Have we undershot it, right? And you know, you can manage that day by day, and then that change management becomes so much easier.
Yeah, too right.
Yeah, it's not the be all and end all,
no.
right? Because you know, there's many elements that go into performance, right? We all know that sometimes things happen, and you don't follow the process the same way, or you don't meet the number. And as someone in leadership, it's your job to go, why did that happen, right? Why did we happen? What's the root cause of that? And what do we do to correct it in a very structured way?
Interesting, because I would always assume the responsibility for that as the leader, because it's either with being open-minded enough to say, have I got that right? Or are we not on track with that? And the beauty and everything that you're talking about in our efforts to continually improve is you give yourself the permission collectively to change it. Massive statement there, but you can change it.
Yes. Yeah. And a big part of the Infinite Growth Program is that leadership element and making sure that they're focusing on the right things. They're focusing on the things that they should be focusing on, and not the things that they know that they're good at. Which we're all, I'm guilty of that. Like, I know how to do this, and it feels good to go in there.
Safety.
Yeah, it's almost like starting your career again, right? When you hit leadership, you have to now learn how to lead, not how to do the job you already know how to do.
There you go. Perfect. Perfectly put. Thanks again for joining us for our inaugural webinar, and thanks, Candice, for your input. That's fantastic. Breaking down those 5 elements and bringing it to life. I just wanted to assure you that this isn't the end. What we intend to do is run follow-up webinars breaking down each of those 5 elements in more detail and showcasing the tools that you can use in helping to scale your business and reduce the drama in your business with all the ingredients we've been speaking about today, which is just, it's been excellent. Thank you, Candice. I just want to remind you that an opportunity for you digesting this webinar is to reach out to us and message us, because we can actually provide you with a foundation review, or what we call a business health check, to give you an idea of where you sit against those 5 elements. Out of that, you'll learn a lot about your business and yourself, quite possibly, and then that becomes the work that you can undertake to improve ultimately. A part of that is a complimentary 1-hour consultation, and you simply reach out for us and we book a time, sit down with you either face-to-face or in this day and age, of course, over the screen can be done, but using that checklist as a bit of a measure. Very valuable tool, free for you, just reach out. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.